What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at My Cowboys Family, and hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We hope everybody had a great and safe 4th of July yesterday. We had a very good one as well here with the family. Took the night off. Not much going on yesterday, so hope everybody had a great holiday. We did. Now it's back to business. Although tonight we were not supposed to go live, guys. Little J is going to be on her way to Italy, Germany, basically this. I don't know how to say
like
this,
an educational trip for top exceptional students.
Yeah,
basically.
top students are going. So we're obviously very proud. Obviously, the first time she's going somewhere for so long, so far by herself. So it's a little bit stressful. But we are going, so early in the morning to the airport that we're just figuring, hey, we're chilling here, got everything ready locked down. Let's just do a quick live stream. A little bonus Cowboys chat with the family.
So we're definitely on a very specific kind of time crunch. So,
we'll go as long as we can, but probably an hour is going to be
get everything out that we can while we can. So again, huge shout out to everybody here chilling and hanging with us. Yeah,
we want to make sure you guys also get your drops of knowledge out. If you want to drop your love, you can also do that. Just keep in mind, it's not going to be a 2-hour stream tonight, for sure. No matter what, even if we had a million things to talk about, it'd have to be tomorrow, the rest of it. This is a bonus, and we're going to have some fun with this tonight with you guys in the chat. Before we get going, baby, let's talk about the person who took over this entire board last week and controls it this week. You know who it is, guys. It's the man with the plan, Jason Renfro.
Woo, Jason.
The sponsor of the week, the Cash App King, the Takeover, guys. He's got 24 Israel Mukuamu points on the stream, boss. Interesting, because we're going to talk about Israel Mukuamu once again tonight. Much love to Jason Renfro. He is leading across the boards there on those three sides of things. Of course, when it comes to the current leader on the Cash App side, it's the same guy right there on your screen, Jason Renfro. He's got a dollar holler. So that's it. The dollar is the number to beat right now in the Cash App / Venmo / PayPal, all the other ways. We'll go through that in a minute. Jason Renfro is currently in the lead with the dollar holler there. And if you look at the overall board, baby, of course you got the monthly gifting leaders. The guy who dominated the last 2 months is the man staying skeptical. Skeptical fan this month. He went back to back the last 2 months. When you go for a three-peat, he's got a 7-2 lead. 7 gifted memberships for Skeptical Fan, 2 for Jason Renfro. Still showing up on that board, Jason. Much love to him. Both you guys with your gifted memberships. And, of course, the current overall leader on the board right now, we did have Mary Alvarez, and her star level membership dropped through. So she's second place on the board. But in first place, it's the man from Hawaii, Mark Hovsepian, who on night one, he took over that top of that board right away. Jason Renfro's in third right now. Mary Alvarez in second. Mark Hovsepian in first. And, of course, appreciate everybody in the house like Dwayne Broussard with the pre-stream drop, the $2 holler, and, the legendary Go Cowboys by the top dog, Dwayne Broussard. Appreciate him as well. Everybody here, give the shout-outs to you all. And speaking of shout-outs and gifting memberships, I was just about to say how there's different ways of doing this. We got the Man Skeptical Fan gifting a membership, and this time the great Rolando Rodriguez gets a little taste of the membership fun. And hey,
an old school MCF right here. Thank you to you, Skeptical Fan. Woo. Much love and congrats, Rolando. Enjoy your gifted membership. Of course,
man. He's all over Texas. Much love to him.
Drop him if you got him. By the way,
congrats to him. Yeah, and big time thank you to the man staying skeptical, Skeptical Fan. Appreciate him. I'm going to fix this leaderboard, baby.
Yeah, I know you were just about to shout out Skeptical Fan because he is, of course, the membership gifting leader of the month.
Yeah, he's he goes to 8 now, and Jason Renfro's at 2. I will also say this, baby. Don't forget the star level members. You got the Over Everything crew there, which right now it's empty. Never had an Over Everything yet. Hopefully that happens one day soon. We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, we got the star level members representing it. Skeptical Fan, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, and Jason Renfro. Woo. Thank you guys for rocking the spot here with us every single day here, especially on the nightly. Now, baby, we also talk about this raffle coming up. There's ways to drop the love, whether it's super chat, a membership joining, that counts as well, membership gifting, thanks on videos that are already posted or live streams that are already uploaded. But, baby, there's other ways to drop love, 4 other ways you can get into this raffle. We'll talk about that in a minute. What are the 4 ways, baby?
You do have the Cash App, money sign My Cowboys Family. the Venmo at my-cowboys-family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, you do have your Streamlabs link, which lets your comments show up right here on screen.
Now,
sorry, I thought you were going to say something.
No, I am. I'm going to talk about, those are the ways you can drop the love here to help the channel out, support, show your support for the MCF experience. But also, there's an extra bonus this time around, baby. And the memberships also do pay dividends here, and they have their perks. Let me show the screen. It's the bottom right of the screen. You're seeing it there right now. But
we obviously, in case you weren't here
so they can
last
see it.
Week,
it continues this week.
We at MCF were celebrating 6 years.
Hell yeah.
And now beyond. Of
Year 7 now.
Yes, live streaming here on YouTube. Doing our little MCF thing here. So in order to celebrate that and to give homage to the 6 years, if you drop $6, bam, you're automatically entered into our jersey raffle.
Yeah, it's a jersey raffle, sewn and stitched. 30 different Cowboy players to pick from. If you from another team, I know nobody's in from another team. There's even jerseys for you guys, but sewn and stitched, great quality. We have like 30 jerseys ourselves, so make sure you guys get on. The winner will get this sewn and stitched. It's 30 again legends, current players to choose from. That's the top prize. There's a second place prize by Skeptical Fan, a Cowboys T-shirt, which is for the second place person. But $6 to enter, and you're in the raffle.
Yep.
If you're in the raffle, there's other ways to add raffle entries.
Yep. So every $6 on top of that is an additional bonus entry, and membership even has additional perks. Navy, Blue, Silver, and Star members get 1, 2, and 3 entries respectively as bonus entries into the raffle when they enter.
That's right, guys. So thank you to all. Good luck to all who's in this raffle right now. People are still stacking raffle entries as we speak, so appreciate everybody. And on this Sunday, we will have the 6-year anniversary jersey raffle. We celebrated 6 years last Saturday. This Sunday, it's the raffle for you guys. 2 prizes. That's sewn and stitched jersey, first place. And yes, I can't wait to see who wins it. Good luck to all, and thank you all for helping the channel, celebrating with us, and hey, getting a little bit of love back for 2 people who are going to win these prizes on the upcoming Sunday.
Can't wait to see who wins.
Now, who's in the house here ready to rock with us on a quicker live stream tonight?
Shout out to Scorpio in the house, much love. Tammy Soltis, hello and hi. Mike Aldana, what's up in the house? Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett. Of course, Rolando Rodriguez, the lucky gifted membership winner there from Skeptical Fan, who's always staying skeptical. Daniel Berry Sports, hello and hi. We have Madman representing. Even Leaside Herald said real football talk tonight.
Yeah,
Dwayne
Cowboys.
Broussard, the top dog himself. Who else is here? Jason Renfro, of course. Much love to you.
Yeah.
We have, let me see, I think that's everybody here so far. So as more people trickle in,
So Freedom
I'll
First
give them their
there.
shout. Oh yeah, well I can't go back that far.
I know, he was in there. He was not first today, though. He was not first. And
I guess Freedom second today.
I think it was like Freedom third. But either way, appreciate everybody in the house. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. And let's just start getting. Let's get it on, guys. Let's talk about NFL football. Unfortunately, a former Dallas Cowboy player and coach, his son, getting into some issues here. And again, we already discussed it in the past. We're gonna get a little more closure here in a minute. But first, with that number $1 holler there, Jason Renfro drops it in the house, and he says, "Go Cowboys," as he always does, repping that navy blue, silver, and star, going for that 6 and beyond. Damn right. Appreciate him. We're repping our stars tonight here on our VTubers. So thank you guys, dropping the love there. Jason Renfro, another one. He's up to 25. Now he went up to 25 points on the stream boss. So maybe John Kittner, his son, had an issue. He got thrown out of the Florida Gator team, quarterback for them. He had some issues. We know this in the past, in the last year or so. So today there was a little more conclusion in the court side, the court ruling things of the situation. Baby, let's go through the details. What happened to John Kittner's son? I think his name is Jalen Kittner.
And just a little heads up, this is obviously discussing some sensitive materials here. Jalen Kittner, obviously John Kittner's son, he did actually reach a plea deal. That means that the 5 felony child pornography charges that he was facing are dropped.
That was in November, by the way.
Exactly. Yeah. So he's 20 years old. Like you said, he actually, used to play for Burleson High School.
That's in Texas, yeah.
Yeah, his high school. But he pleaded guilty on 2 counts of disorderly conduct. So those are second-degree misdemeanors. Obviously, not a felony.
And this happened in Florida.
Yes. Gainesville Police Department, specifically, in case you're wondering, he won't have to register as a sex offender. And he was obviously accompanied by his parents as he pled remorse and guilt for his actions.
I know he did. They basically placed Kittner on 6 months probation for each count, but did not impose a fine. I picked that up as well.
Yeah. So apparently a little bit of the details on what exactly happened. Kittner apparently shared images of young girls being abused through a social media platform, so Instagram, Snapchat, something like that. They apparently also discovered more illicit images on his phone. Based on the fact that the specific child pornography charges were dropped, I'm going to assume that the child in question was probably, hopefully, closer to the age of consent, just based on the fact that he didn't have to register on any kind of registry.
Why do they have the felony charges, though?
That's what, though they were dropped. That's what I'm saying.
I know, but why were they even placed?
Well, obviously there was
him?
still an underage person or people. It sounds like, again, they're keeping the details pretty hush-hush. I am just going off of the specific wording used. Either way, young girls, not exactly great. Either, it's still an underage child. It's still underage girls that we just don't know.
We just don't know that when it's those girls, it's 17 or is it 7? And I'm not saying that that's right either way, but I'm saying that there's obviously
I think we can all agree
difference.
that there's a big difference
He's
between
20, so,
a 16 or a 17-year-old and, a 7, 10, 12. I'm just saying, yes, we can all agree that there's a difference in that situation.
Still,
the only reason
wrong.
I am even saying this is only because they dropped every single felony count. Right. I have to imagine, maybe I just want to hope and imagine that that's the case, but at the same time, this is the punishment that's been meted out. Obviously, there's some people who are not very happy with it, but without knowing any more details of the case,
John Kittner is not like Biden or Trump, where he's got that kind of pull. You know what I mean? To get off on something lenient, whether it's Trump or Biden's family or
Money
people.
Can get you out of most.
Yeah, but
crimes,
Kittner's not in that situation. I don't think John Kittner has that kind of pull for the University of Florida. In the state of Florida, he's in Texas. He don't got that Kittner pull. So to me, it must have been something that was more reasonable, and he got leniency there from the plea deal here. So, I mean, look I don't know.
I still feel like Kittner still has some friends in pretty high places. Okay? His kid is still playing in a very football happy place. So
no, he's not playing anymore.
No, but he was at one point. I'm just saying that, I can see where maybe some leniency was definitely given there, but I have to still imagine that had it been something more severe, there was only so much leniency he was going to get.
I think in the future we'll see more of the plea deal and maybe more details, and I think we're going to get a better judgment on this. But look, just wanted to bring it up.
Again, his dad worked for us,
and his dad Kittner did play for us as a backup quarterback for a couple of years, but he coached Dak as the quarterback coach. This has nothing to do with the Cowboys. This is NFL news, but there is a connection to John Kittner, who did touch with us playing and coaching.
Remember, we all kind of kept asking, damn, why can't John Kittner come back or help Dak or something like that? Honestly, sounds like he had a lot going on with the situation with the son, because we haven't really heard about him doing much of anything football related.
He was coaching in a high school.
Yeah, he high school or college or something like that. But even then, he took some kind of assistant role. So either way. So
any last comments on this? We're gonna fly through this.
Scorpius said this reminds me of that Dave Chappelle R. Kelly skit.
Oh shit, that's
please
go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, Dave Walker, what's up? Much love. Let me see. Raul in the house as well. So yeah, again, hopefully this is the last time we ever have to talk about anything related like this to anything even Cowboy adjacent.
Yeah, exactly. So that's NFL news, just so Eastside knows. Eastside Harold gets a little confused sometimes with his blinded Cowboy hate. But we're going to make him see right again, right? So anyways, moving on. Let's go on to the man, Micah Parsons. Yes, Micah Parsons, number 11. If you guys hadn't seen this yesterday, 4th of July party, it was like an all-white dressed party. Like he dressed in all white. American billionaire Michael Rubin. I mean, he seemed to invite every single A-list celebrity plus, every musician or sports star.
Yeah, very much a who's
with his white
who,
party. Yeah,
at this 4th of July bash.
Yeah, so 4th of July white party event. Micah Parsons was there with Des Bryant. Just so you guys know, a couple Cowboys that were represented there. But it was more interesting to see, Micah kind of mingling with everybody. Look, there was a lot of famous people, Kim Kardashian, and, just people from Jay-Z was out there, Beyonce.
It's a place to rub elbows, but yeah, it's nice and kind of cool to see not just one, but two. I'm including Dez here with the Cowboy representation, right? Two prominent players associated with the Cowboys here at this party, and obviously Micah himself, he seems to be really handling this kind of newfound fame relatively well, considering how much he even mentioned, hey, this just shit's a lot.
Yeah.
So,
listen,
it's nice to see. I'm just saying, you can clearly see he seems to be a lot more comfortable than he was his rookie year.
He also, when he's here with this party, he's obviously hanging a lot with Dez Bryant, some other football players, C.J. Stroud, rookie. But he was also with Tom Brady. It's kind of funny because, Micah was munching on Tom Brady's career at the end.
The last face that Tom Brady saw before his career was called.
So, Micah Parsons being hugged, basically, arm around his shoulder by Tom Brady. Tom Brady, all in his ear, probably saying you're going to be the next best thing in this league, in the entire league. Up there with, quarterbacks and shit for MVP. Who knows? But Tom Brady knows the deal. He's seen a lot of Micah the last couple of years, and he knows the kind of player Micah is. But they were rubbing elbows. Micah's in the elite group, the A-list group there, and that's big. Just representation. I love it. But that's not football. We want to win Super Bowls. So what I was like, hey, what is Micah doing, right? So, hey, I want to see Micah do what he did. Ooh, almost give you a little preview there. What he did last year. Let me show you what I mean. By throwing guys around, just bowling over. Listen, he gained 10 pounds. He still kept his velocity, his acceleration, and his speed and quickness. I'm afraid for opposing teams' offenses, quarterbacks, offensive, coordinators. I love it.
Especially now that we've helped shore up a lot more of that inside space there.
Slow down the run.
I feel like we're basically giving Micah carte blanche to just go out there and just do what feels right to you, Micah, right?
So we know that Micah Parsons out there busting ass to get to the next level. We've seen the video and all that stuff, but now there's new video, and I'm just going to pop it up on the screen because I love it. Micah Parsons back to boxing, right? This was last week. He's boxing, training there. And you see Dan Quinn. I love it. You got to love it. Now, we know Dan Quinn was out here. There's Aiden Dirty, and then there's Chauncey Golston, Osa, and Micah. And they're all just boxing, getting that endurance. You need to build that up. So, again, let's just, when you talk about this video, we talked about Micah at an A-list party for July 4th, but this man doesn't stop working out. In fact, today itself, guys, he was back working out after the holiday weekend. He was back. This isn't the video. They're just saying there's other video out there. It'll be coming soon from MCF, but he continues to look hungry, determined, entering this third year. He's working with, I think Lance 717 on Instagram. That's the person he's working with, the weight side of things. There was a lot of weights. There was a lot of kind of foot work, I'd say, foot placement. But here you're seeing the, building up basically the overall endurance he's going to need for a full game of playing that edge rusher, linebacker, wherever Dan Quinn wants to put him. I'm cool with it. But he's out there, guys, busting ass. This is before the party. He's busting ass after the party. So if you think, Micah shouldn't be doing this, why isn't Micah why is he trying to be big shot? Stop it, guys. That's, he's a famous athlete and he's going to just get more famous. So accept that. But accept the fact that this man don't stop working on his game, and I don't think he's ever got a quit to him. So when I look at this, guys, I see Micah Parsons, Dan Quinn, again, Aiden Dirty, right, the defensive line coach. You got Osa Odigizua in the mix here, Chauncey Golston. So they're getting a lot of guys in the mix here. Cowboys are bringing the defensive side. They're really bringing a lot of new techniques, whether it's arm work as well, you can say, with the boxing. A lot of reasons for this, guys. Micah Parsons looking to improve his game. And as I said, he's bulked up muscle. And today, working out, just with the weights working out, you can see him, he's still keeping up with that, bulking up to 255 is where he's topping out. So I see him, guys. Again, he's adding muscle in anticipation for being more of an effective pass rusher and take the hits throughout a game. Easy and natural kind of step forward when you go into the sparring, bag work, and the boxing side of things to combat the league's top offensive lineman. Micah, one of several Cowboys that have been training at the T-Mac Elite Training Center in Allen, Texas. He's also brought along, like I said, Chauncey Golston, Osa, you see, Dan Quinn in the mix there. I mean, that's my favorite thing. And Dan Quinn, he was hanging pretty well, but as you can see, but he also got tired. There's a couple times Micah said, Dan Quinn's like, give me a second. So, Dan Quinn has been rigorous here for this training. And Micah's been better and better. He's been here doing this for months in the offseason. So Micah's gotten, again, getting Dan Quinn in the ring. Quinn has, used it. Quinn has used these kind of techniques in his workouts. He's brought, remember, Quinn brought boxing gloves to the practice field sometimes for drills with the Cowboy defensive linemen. So Quinn is a firm believer in the science that you can. I'm just saying, the science that you can learn and put into the football side of the field from other sports.
I was just about to say, I guess the simplest way to explain it without getting too much into like the sciencey side of things, just cross training. That's it.
Yeah.
There's obviously different skills that you get from practicing certain things in different sports, and that does translate the same way that we know things like ballet and yoga help players with their kind of muscle control and their overall like center of gravity and their balance and things like that. Their coordination overall. I can easily see why boxing would help that kind of hand-eye coordination, a lot of the hand movements, and honestly just reflexes.
Yeah.
NFL players have to do everything so fast. We forget that all this stuff happens in the span of basically 3 to 4 seconds. You have to be able to react in a muscle memory type of way. So boxing, reflexes, like I'm just saying, I can easily see you how Quinn kind of integrates all those things, and it seems really knowledgeable about different sports too.
Scorpio, a Scorpio in the chat saying, you think he'll get moved to like Aaron Donald? No freaking way. You'd actually be losing something. I think you could have him standing up as a linebacker behind Mozzie Smith, and you don't know if he's going left or right of Mozzie. I think that is a way to use Micah Parsons, but standing up as a linebacker, blitzing or putting pressure, not as a 4-point stance, nose tackle. No,
my response to that in the chat is just, it is possible, but we're kind of back to square one in that we would need to add more help on the D line to help compensate for that. So it feels like again, it is possible. But it feels
for him
like
to be an Aaron Donald?
It's not that. I'm just saying, I feel like there's easier ways of accomplishing something like
my
that
point is that,
without necessarily moving Mozzie out of his position.
He might have a couple good plays, Micah, but that's not going to be that's not a long-term thing, lasting for him. No way. That'd be actually weakening Micah Parsons' ability if he's a 4-down lineman under the center. That'd be silly to waste him that way. Now, and that's with or without help on the outside. I don't care. I don't want to waste Micah Parsons on, as a 1-tech, 2-tech, 3-tech, 4. No, for the most part, you guys understand what I'm saying. A down lineman, no fucking way. Edge rusher
again,
or move around linebacker, hell yeah.
Cowboys are basically starting their fight club, which still cracks me up.
Quinn was willing to get in here and mix it up with all these guys, specifically Micah Parsons, who got him in there. And again, Quinn is 52 years old. All right, and he actually said, he kept up punch for punch, except for a couple times he had to take a break, Micah said. But again, we heard, Dan Quinn said, I approve of this regimen, off-season training. I definitely can't wait to see what you're going to bring. And he's talking to Micah in this situation.
Yeah, but plus boxing honestly keeps that fighting mindset, too. I love
that aggressive kind of thought process. But you got to it's aggressive and measured. That's the key here. You just can't go in there like a crazy person.
You're not just wailing on them.
So again, at the time, all this time spent perfecting these hooks and the jabs this summer, these 3 months, for Micah Parsons, he's going to be able to, I think, this is going to earn him a couple extra sacks just with this little extra upgrade to his game. And again, I think tackles for loss. Don't forget, people look for sacks only, but he's causing ruckus in the back. He's causing issues in the backfield, and he's breaking, and he's really disrupting plays.
I'm calling it now. Next summer is going to be the summer of not boxing, wrestling.
Well, Osa's in the wrestling side, but Osa here is also doing the boxing, the handwork there. But it's also, baby, you mentioned a balance, and that's a big thing here. By doing all of this, it's really teaching him and everybody doing this here in the field, as far as the players are concerned, new ways to keep your balance. Boxing mindset on the football field will come in handy.
Light on your feet.
Distributing the power. The way you distribute power, whether it's punching, you apply your hand movements while you're pass rushing, you understand? So, again, deflecting opponents' hands, as you said, hand-eye coordination. Mm-hmm. These things, if these things translate on the field even a little bit, for all these guys, it's going to upgrade us 2, 3, 4 sacks on this defense. That's worth it, in my opinion. That's big time worth it. And on top of a lot of other tackle for losses and disruptions by not just Micah, but all these guys. So,
even just 10, 15 plays throughout the season that end up going more our way instead of the other way because of something like this.
Yeah.
You
that's
never
big
know
deal.
which plays are going to be impactful.
It could be the one that gets you or wins the Super Bowl. You just never know. Mm-hmm. So this is all part of kind of Micah Parsons' all-inclusive approach. We see him do a lot of different things, whether it's track and field type of stuff, running, training, all different kind of ways for speed, but also medicine ball, training, as with the bags here and boxing. you gotta love it. And so again, all of this stuff, he's just, for him and Dan Quinn to see him in the middle of doing this here, and the players taking part in this. We saw Brandon Cooks, and Stephon Gilmore and Jalen Tolbert, and these guys are all getting put into the fold here. Micah Parsons really teaching this. He is the identity of our team. It's Micah Parsons over Dak, over everybody on this team. Micah Parsons is what you want. Again, and I love Dak for what he is on and off the field. Fantastic, a leader and all that stuff, but he hasn't really taken ownership yet. We haven't seen it of the offense. And he does that, then he's right there. He's still there with Micah. But Micah, to me, the work ethic, the rise to dominance. Micah's the guy you're following here on defense with no question, no doubt. Even Dan Quinn's following him. So I love it. I think what's going to be, this is part of the work ethic you want to see from a Micah Parsons, and the rest of the guys around him. They're all in on this, including Dan Quinn. So I love it. And like I said, guys, even after this party he had yesterday, hanging out with Tom Brady and rubbing elbows with the A-list celebrities, back at the grind doing the weights thing now. Not the boxing, but the weights, just bulking up. Not bulking up, but staying bulked up. Let's put it that way, right? So I love to see, we all love to see this. Any quick comments on this when it comes to Micah?
I'm going to, rolling back a little bit here since we're this is still Mozzie adjacent, right? Because, Scorpio said, I just thought I heard Mozzie was faster than Aaron Donald and could outbench him by 50 pounds. Someone had posted the stats, but it just makes you think, but we do need him more for the middle.
Oh, so we talking about Mozzie. You say Mozzie Smith in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I just said it's Micah. I said it's Micah adjacent. Right.
I wasn't sure if he was talking. Was he talking about Micah going in the middle? Because I don't think he.
No. He
was talking about Mozzie in the
all
middle.
those comments were about Mozzie.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Aaron Donald.
Okay, then yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought he was talking about Micah Parsons. I got confused.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I thought I saw something that said Micah. I must have read it too fast.
Yeah, I think So let me go back and read the comment then, real quick, just so that you understand. I think a little bit more. He said, I heard Mozzie has speed and strength. You think Quinn has a plan to make him a defensive edge like Aaron Donald at some point down the line? Well, I still think my point still stands in the sense of it is possible, but we're kind of back to square one where we still need some interior D-line help there.
That's the thing.
If we're going to be moving Mozzie around, it's possible, but it's definitely something more like possibly in the future plans.
It's reverse of my answer. Yes, you keep him inside pretty much all. You do not put him as a... Again, you got Aaron Donald's... he could be that 5 tech. On I know he plays sometimes inside there, but he really plays inside most of the time. Aaron Donald. Sometimes he'll play, on the edge, maybe in a 3-4 kind of feel situation. But for the most part, I'm talking about Aaron Donald. I think Mozzie Smith may end up doing some of that stuff, but I do agree with you, baby. I think that he's going to stay at that 0 tech, 1 tech, 2 tech, 3 tech situation. I bet at most he'll be a 3 tech when Hankins is a 1 tech, let's say. So that's when we go big, we go thick inside. That's where I do agree. I think we'll see him that way more than an edge rusher, because Mozzie still has to get his edge rush skills up to speed, and he's still a little behind there. The hope is, at least as an interior guy, he gets the improvement there. If he can do it from the inside, man, we don't need him on the outside. We got him inside. We got other guys on the outside for now and for the future. If you think about Micah and Sam Williams on the outside in the future, and Mozzie inside and able to get pass rush from the inside, you don't want to move Mozzie anywhere from that 1 tech, 2 tech, or 3 tech spot, including 0 tech. And he's stopping the run too? Nah. Mozzie stays inside 95% of his career. I think, in my opinion. We'll see. Yeah. So we got it clear now. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Micah going inside like a 1 tech. I'm like, no. Use Micah as a linebacker.
Yeah,
no one corrected me.
I heard you guys also saying, MCF, isn't it against the rules that you can't practice with the players that you don't know until training camp?
I'm not sure about that.
I think it's just like
I think it's coaches.
Official, I was gonna say I think it's just like official team stuff. So Dan Quinn here is technically just.
But everybody here he knows.
Yeah, personally hanging out with his players.
Yeah, this isn't like an
official Cowboys sponsored thing.
It can't be on the Cowboy property. It can't be during the Cowboy on their field.
He's not enacting any official coaching stuff here. He's just participating in an activity with his players.
And remember, this happened already after the OTAs began.
Yep.
So, and I'm talking about OTAs, the second phase, when they already were talking already. So they just went here afterwards.
Allowed to meet with players at that point.
They were already allowed to meet with them after that first phase. And again, I think you can't meet with them on the practice field, but you might be able to meet with them outside. I think you can. I'm not 100%. Either way, the point is this is all on the up and up, and we're good to go here. Look, these aren't the only guys working out. Another guy's working out, and his name is Stephon Gilmore. Just to throw it in here, maybe I'll just squeeze it in. Just a quick little thing. He's still working on his footwork stuff. Stephon Gilmore looking great. Getting ready for his first year in Dallas. So, again, all these guys are busted. We talked about Brandon Cooks and Jalen Tolbert doing some, not just boxing, but getting their speed up to speed for training camp. We just talked about Micah here busting ass today, after yesterday's party. So, he drank a little bit, partied, and then went home, got his things together for tomorrow, and started busting ass working out. Again, you see him here, of course, before the break, doing some stuff with Quinn and the other Cowboy defensive linemen, just trying different things, an all-inclusive kind of thought process here. I love it. Just to finish on Gilmore, guys, former All-Pro cornerback, had a PFF grade of 81.1 in 2022. Last year, hit again with the Colts, an 81.1. That's almost that's 9 away from elite. And that's already a guy, you've been here a little bit in the league, right? That's the highest he's had, rated-wise, coverage-wise, and as a cornerback-wise, since 2019, in his prime of his career, which he still has some juice left. He's had some gas in that tank, like Brandon Cooks. Gilmore will be a big help. Now, he's going to help Trayvon Diggs, but baby, Trayvon Diggs helps Gilmore. It's not just like it's only helping Diggs.
It's a symbiotic relationship
correct.
Here.
Both guys are getting a lot of help from each other. Just, Gilmore might have lost a step in his prime days. Trayvon Diggs is getting to his prime days. But the point is, now you're getting the little help that Trayvon Diggs needs from the other side, when Anthony Brown was not giving that to us. And then you look at, Gilmore, he maybe needs a little more pickup on the other side of the cornerbacking spot. And then you got Trayvon Diggs, ready to roll. So to me, this is a great matchup here for the Cowboys at the cornerback spot. And I love seeing Stephon Gilmore out there busting his ass, getting ready for this year with the Cowboys. So any quick comments? I have one more group of guys that actually did some stuff out there, baby.
Yeah, so first of all, Issa Davis, that's awesome. Saying, I've been a Cowboy fan since Tony Dorsett's days. I love my Cowboys.
Yeah, TD, baby, Tony Dorsett.
Ooh.
I see it here, a 5 on it by our number one Houston area Dallas Cowboy fan, Eastside Harold, dropping that $5 holler. What did he have to say?
The OG hater said, MCF, you guys are just as delusional as you did 6 years ago.
It's just easy to say that because we haven't won a Super Bowl, but if you've been following us like Eastside has, he knows how close we've come on things. Not just the Cowboys, but us here in MCF and our discussions. He knows that, the things we've been complaining about is exactly what's wrong with this team for the last 6 years. And so Eastside knows. He can try to get under his skin. He won't. But he's good at it. I think he got himself a jersey raffle, by the way. A jersey raffle entry. So, he's going to get that Dak Prescott jersey. Now, do you want a Dalton Schultz? Since you got him, or you want Noah Brown?
Yeah,
let me know, Eastside.
We'll make sure you get all your favorite Cowboy players. So
I love it. I appreciate it, Eastside. You're funny. You're a funny guy. I got you. I'm on the board here. He is now tied with Skeptical Fan, believe it or not, in third place on this board.
So Scorpio, by the way, throwing out there, I really appreciate what Dan Quinn is doing with his players. He's earning their respect by getting his hands dirty with the players so they do the same activities.
Yep.
It's a great example of what a coach is.
Yeah, he's honestly building these guys together, the camaraderie with him. And it's like he's one of them, and that is so key.
All I'm going to say is there's different types of coaches, right? Because I can't really see Jimmy Johnson doing this exactly.
Yeah.
But you know what Jimmy Johnson would do? He'd throw him. He's going to rent a yacht. He's going to throw as many Cowboy players as he can fit on that yacht. They're going to go fishing. They're going to spend some time fishing. I'm just saying, it just... Every coach is different. Every coach connects to their players in a different way.
Correct.
But I think most of us can definitely like and enjoy and appreciate Quinn because he genuinely... He's one of the guys. I think that's why so many of us like him as well as a coach, not just because he's successful, but because, we feel like we could sit and grab a beer with him, or he would be, willing to throw down for us the same way that we're throwing down for him.
And that's the key for the players to see that from their coach. They'll go through a brick wall for someone like Dan Quinn and for someone like Micah Parsons.
And Bishop King, much love. Can't wait
in
for the
house.
Preseason. It's almost here.
The real Bishop King.
By the way, Leaside said give his raffle entry to Mary
Alvarez? All right.
So
I'll let her. I'll put it in there.
Mary's
got a whole bunch of raffle entries, so she's got a shot. Her and Jason Renfro are I think the overall leaders with Skeptical Fan. Those are the three big dogs, along with Marco. Marco Sepian's always in the mix. These are the big dogs here. Mary's now in the crew there, in that top 4 or 5 people. So there you go, Eastside. All good. Mary gets it.
Mm-hmm. So, but yes, definitely can't wait for the preseason. I think we're all keeping that calendar in our heads, right? It's just ripping off another page.
Ticking away. Now I'm going to leave this up with Micah Parsons. Why? Because it didn't stop here, baby. When it came to the work by our guys here in the offseason, we had some other defensive players busting ass on the interior. Trench warfare. That you guys know already. Brandon Tucker, he does the trench warfare. He's worked with a lot of Cowboys like DeMarcus Lawrence, Tapper, and others. Now Tapper's in Houston, got a big deal there for Eastside Harold. So he just put out some video today. We'll be posting this tomorrow or the next day about some work with some of his Cowboy clients on July 4th. So they're not there shooting fireworks. We got Osa Odigizua and Neville Gallimore. Yeah, Gallimore got to do something to make this team this year, and not, he's going to be gone next year if he makes it this year. So Neville Gallimore, defensive tackle, along with Osa Odigizua. You see him in this video, Osa. Both guys busting their ass and trying to get to that next level. And I love to see even a guy like Gallimore might not be here, but at least he's giving his all here on July 4th. Yesterday busting his ass. I like to see it. He's grinding in the Texas heat. I'll talk a little bit more about this, but first let's hear from the man staying skeptical and breaking that tie with Eastside Harold with that $2 J-Lou holler.
Well, he said just that. I don't want to be in a tie with Eastside.
I don't blame
you.
I didn't see the post, but it always makes me think, damn, when Eastside ties someone, that can't be a good feeling. Well, there you go. I guess skeptical fan staying skeptical. With great minds think alike. He breaks the tie in third place, Eastside in fourth, and Mary in second, Mark still in first. So there you go. On the overall board so far this week, much love, skeptical. We broke the tie. Trench warfare, guys. Just so you guys know, it's led by Brandon Tucker. He actually has 15 years of experience. We've talked about him multiple times in our 6 years on MCF. Right, Eastside. He's coached some of the top players in Texas, and he's previously served as a defensive coordinator of football for Football University's Team DFW and Team Dallas. He also holds positions as a Nike regional opening D-line coach, NFL D-line combine prep coach, APEC coach as well. There again, he's also the assistant head coach and defensive coordinator at the Episcopal School of Dallas. His high school training group, has received over 500 scholarship offers over the last 8 seasons of having this business he has.
That's awesome.
And it really gets some of the bigger guys in Texas, especially in Dallas, working with him. So player development, he's a pass rush specialist, NFL Combine Pro Day training coach, right? Part of the Trench Bullies group there, pass rush school. So just saying, all our guys are putting in work in their respective spots. Israel Mukuamu in Houston with a defensive backs coach. You got Gallimore and Osa with a defensive line trench warfare Brandon Tucker coach. You got Micah with the boxing and bringing Osa in there as well, and Chauncey Golston, and of course Dan Quinn in the mix. So love to see it. I love to see it. Now there's also in Dallas, July 15th, July 16th. There's a Final Five. It's called Final Five O-Line Academy. I stick with the trenches here, and I'll switch it up here for you guys because we are talking offensive line, and let me get right to it here. Bye-bye, Micah, and the boxing. But let's talk a little offensive line here, and I'm going to pull up, let's say, someone like Tyler Smith, because he's been participating in a lot of the, off-season stuff with the Von Miller camps and other places where he's just part of things, learning things from the defense, the best of the defensive side, and learning how to combat that. I love to see it. So there's this Final Five O-Line Academy in Dallas, Texas, July 15th, July 16th. It's going to teach O-line mobility and movement. It's going to teach 2-point and 3-point stance. Of course, 2-point is when you're kind of in the pass blocking protection. You got both hands off the ground. 3-point, of course, we know is that front hand in the dirt. Run game posture, run game demeanor. They're going to teach pass game posture and demeanor. They're going to also teach stance posture with stance with the posture and with the posture movement. They're also going to teach some handwork, carriage, strike, leverage kind of stuff, and a lot more. So I expect to see kind of Tyler Smith there, either learning or part of this. But again, remember, it's just to teach younger guys, younger players. Maybe not even just NFL, but I do expect to see a lot of Cowboy players around this.
You still learn a lot from teaching.
Yeah.
Right? So this is still very vital for the development of their leadership skills as well, which, as we kind of keep harping on and on about when it comes to certain players like Dak or Cooks or things like that that shit matters. So, make the most of it.
Yeah, and now we're going to talk about what I think you haven't heard yet from the background in our Cowboys headquarters, front office, behind the scenes. Let me just say this, guys. Tyler Smith's takeover this year. Hell yeah. Let me explain. Cowboy Insider out there, John Machana, believes that we hit a home, that the Cowboys themselves hit a home run with Tyler Smith last year. Now, a lot of us were very iffy on him. I said if get him inside at guard, I think we'll see maybe a better version of him. I was wrong about that. We got the tutoring and mentorship from Tyron Smith and Jason Peters, and look what Tyler Smith's become inside and outside. It's a left side player, left guard, left side player, left tackle. That's what he's about. So again, the key is this, guys. John Machado, I'm going to say what he said again. He had high praise for last year's first round pick. When kind of peeking into what they're saying at the Cowboys, headquarters behind the scenes, and he said, "quote behind the scenes with him and with the Cowboys front office, it's so crazy because they got him. Because when they got him, he's just off the charts for them. Honestly, the Cowboys got lucky, and they feel they got lucky getting Tyler Smith because he's going to be here for a very long time. The Cowboys, they're ready to
praise to McClay.
Yeah, and McClay." The Cowboys wanted a lineman, and they said he's the guy to work with.
I know in the end it was a relatively straightforward decision to go with Mozzie, but up until that moment, I'm just saying, with Tyler Smith. So, sorry, wrong. Too many Smiths on this team. So we gotta start labeling them, but I'm just saying I know that there was some doubts when we went to go grab Tyler Smith as far as like which direction to go in, but then it seemed like the Cowboys were pretty locked in once they made that decision. But even I don't think expected him to do as well as he did.
I don't think so either. I think also they picked him in the first round, and they were ecstatic because I think the Cowboys, when they picked him, baby, they already had their mind made up to pick Tyler Smith. I think you're forgetting it. I think you get mixed up with Mozzie.
No, there was still. I swear there was another player that they wanted. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, they said somebody else. I think the point is that the Cowboys showed their damn list, and Jerry Jones showed it, and showed where Tyler Smith was like above pretty much everyone else. So other than a quarterback or two,
pretty much everyone that was left.
There's a quarterback or two. The Cowboys didn't go with that. They wanted the offensive lineman. They were ecstatic about getting him and bringing him in, and I think that is the key there. The Cowboys feel like they got a steal last year in grabbing him. They also feel like he's turned out even better than they thought. And what I'm trying to say here is Tyler Smith started all 17 games last year. He played mostly left tackle. This year he might have to play mostly left guard. We got to see.
And that's what I mean by he also exceeded expectations. Again,
the left tackle was the exceeded expectations part.
Plan on him playing tackle. Yeah. And also, even when they did, I don't think anyone expected him to do as well as he did.
I mean, they were forced to have the roll of dice with him, and the Cowboys were worried in that first game and beyond that will he be ready to be able to handle that left tackle spot with the penalties from college. Listen, he went above and beyond, and again, mainly left tackle. That was the biggest surprise, I think, to everybody. I think left guard, we would have, if he played like that, we would have been like, yes, he's that first round solid pick, but he dominated left tackle too, so he's a solid pick, even more so than we all thought, including the front office. Now, 17 games last year. He started, again, he played left tackle, but spent time at left guard as well last year in a rotation at times. His position is not solidified for this year. Let's be honest. We don't know where he's going to play yet. Left guard, left tackle, but he's starting. And it's clear that he will play a huge role in the Cowboys' success when it comes to this offensive line, not just this year. It's about for the next 10 fucking years. Tyler Smith's going to be here. He's a Cowboy for life, you can pretty much say.
When it comes to our O-line,
they don't fuck around.
We tend to find lifers.
The front office never messes. Listen, we talked about this when we talked about it last year when we drafted him, and we talked about it when we talked about all the other offensive line we drafted: Tyron Smith, Zach Martin. I know Frederick was like right. I'm saying these are fucking all pros / Hall of Famers. Cowboys don't mess up. We just got another one here named again. We don't mess up on first round offensive lineman. That's been a consistent thing with Will McClay. You get a second round guy, you can shit the bed. But a first round guy, and I think Frederick was when we traded down and got him. Mm-hmm. All these guys are Hall of Famers. We've never messed up in the last decade when it comes to drafting an offensive lineman in the first round. Third round, fifth round, second round, it's horrible. But first round, it's a solid Hall of Famer. Imagine that. And again, I'm not saying Tyron Smith Tyler Smith will be there, but it's smelling like it. I'm telling you that.
And the nicer way of putting it is that anyone we did grab in the first round was basically worth it. so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, steal. I say it's a steal because everybody would love to go back and grab the Zach Martin. And would love to grab the Tyron Smith to have him for his career. Love to grab trust me, everyone, Houston, Texas would love to have a Tyler Smith. So, anyways,
I'm sure there's definitely some teams that are looking back at their draft boards last year and kicking themselves.
And let's not go back to the year before that when Micah was there. Anyways, the point here is, guys, that it's clear that he's gonna be a major piece for this team going forward, and he still has I don't think we realize how raw he is. He still has so much room to grow. That even in year 2, guys, and he's the Cowboy front office feeling like he's turning their heads already. He's already turned heads, and he's still got so much more to give, so much more to learn and grow with. So get ready, guys. Get ready, Houston. You're gonna be mad that you didn't get Tyler Smith. Trust me on that. I see Eastside creeping in the chat. So, anyways, as I take a sip of water here, baby. Hit up the chat for a minute. Get a couple quick comments about this and more. And then we're going to go into the couple last things here. Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts. A little discussion between... little comments from Hurts was interesting. We got some insight on Israel Mukuamu situation. And then, some... We're going to end it with some free agents, guys, that I think we got to kind of start looking at a little closer as we're getting closer and closer to the start of training camp. So, baby, hit up the chat there. Let me get a sip of water.
So, Mike Aldana is saying, if Tyler S. is going to be here for a long time, he should be our tackle once and for all, when Tyron Smith eventually does hang up his cleats.
Yeah.
Or leaves. Or whatever.
No, he is... Listen, Tyler Smith is already been called the Tyron Smith replace. I mean, shit, he's already replaced him in a way.
No, I think
Tyron Smith's on the right side.
To when that moment happens, there's no more he's going to be guard, he's going to be this. He is the left tackle, and then that's it.
And I understand. I understand
At least
that.
I'm assuming that's what you meant there.
But even Zach Martin had to play a little right tackle. You know what I'm saying?
In a very emergency situation.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is an emergency situation for Zach Martin, who never played right tackle in 12 years. I mean, Tyler Smith will still be used in a pinch as our starting left tackle, if left guard, if we got a left tackle that fits better there, or there's an injury inside.
He said, stop fucking with the O-line.
No, I agree with that, but I think that when you have a player like Tyler Smith who can easily go back and forth, you don't play around with it. He's your starting left tackle. Well, if someone goes down inside at left guard, and let's say we have a really good left tackle to come in there and help replace him, why would you leave a huge gap opening there on your left guard spot if you don't have that secured and not use Tyler Smith there? I'm just saying, in emergency situations, it's less of a switch for Tyler Smith going from left tackle to left guard than Zach Martin going from right guard to right tackle. That's a much bigger chancy thing, and we did it. We did it 3 years ago. So I'm just saying, if it ever gets to that point, Tyler Smith is a very smooth, operator there at the left guard spot. Anyway, I'll be back to my drinking. Hold on. Water.
No,
I'm drinking water.
It's all good. Real quick, Roland Rodriguez said, is Colin still out there after the Bengals cut him? That's Dak's fishing partner. So, I think that's all he's ever going to stay, Dak's fishing partner. I don't see him coming back to Dallas. And again, our issue is definitely more at the guard spot than it is the tackle spot.
But he wouldn't be a bad backup. And it would keep Tyler Smith there left guard.
Expensive one, though, possibly. I don't know. Look, there's a reason we moved on from him, and it had...
It's work ethic.
It was just a variety of factors between his health and his work ethic.
And the bribing.
Yeah.
I think the Bengals re-signed him, though. I still see him back with the Bengals, but maybe I'm wrong. But he's still with the Cincinnati Bengals, so I don't think we can sign La'el Collins.
So Eastside Herald, by the way, putting out the alarm on that Grimace shake, so good luck to you guys who did try it. Let me see here.
Lil J tried his birthday cake.
So Cactus G throwing out there, I think it's great that Mike is cross-training. I'd love to see him do parkour. It'd make him completely unstoppable.
Don't be surprised if that happens next year.
Him literally parkouring off of other defensive players. Oh, that'd be funny.
So, again, guys, before we get rolling here, let's do a commercial break.
Of course, guys. Don't forget to take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You guys can follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily. Hop into Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below. Let me see. Am I forgetting anything?
Well, there's ways to drop the love here.
True.
You see it there, but...
Besides the Cash App, Money Side My Cowboys Family, and the Venmo the PayPal link. You have the Streamlabs, of course, where you can drop membership shares here, super chats, all that.
Of course, that's all in line for the 6-year anniversary jersey raffle. Sewn and stitched, your pick.
Every $6, bam, that's an entry. Every additional $6, bam, another entry. Members get 1, 2, 3 additional bonus entries, respectively, depending on their membership level. And again, we have a first place prize and a second place prize, thanks to the Mask at the Go fan.
Yeah, it's
Shout out
a T-shirt for second place. First place, a sewn and stitched, one of those jersey original look, authentic like ones. By the way, sponsor of the week, the Takeover, Jason Renfro. Sponsor of the week, Cash App King, 18 points, still hanging on the Stream Boss. First place currently to try to go back to back on the Cash App board and on the overall board. Still Marco Sepian in first place though, coming for that sponsor of the week, with Mary Alvarez in second, and Skeptical Fan I think they're in third. Jason Renfro and others in fourth. Man, much love to everybody in the house. Now let's get back to the discussion. Dak Prescott, because again you see it up there, and you're saying, when it comes to Dak Prescott and his dual threat ability, Kellen Moore was out there, basically, keeping Dak in the pocket. We discussed this the other day. Can I make a mention here about what Jalen Hurts said? It's funny because we used Jalen Hurts as an example in the red zone for our team, and using someone like a Deuce Vaughn or even a Tony Pollard in that sense. But Jalen Hurts was asked about Dak Prescott, and here's what he said about Dak. Quote, "He's a hell of an athlete, a great leader of men on and off the field. It's really the media who paints him as a villain. I model my game off of him. What he's doing is special, and by far the best quarterback in the NFC. Arguably a top 5 quarterback now." So again,
I'm not surprised that some Dak-isms kind of infiltrated their way over there, just because of the way that the Eagles use Hurts. Obviously has some very early usage Dak flavor. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, I can see why there are some similarities, and just even outside of that, the way that Dak came in and took over and handled this team. I'm not surprised that Hurts admires that, because, well, Hurts has done some similar things. Very
true. And so, I think that, look, I'm going to be honest, and again, I love that Hurts is shining some love to Dak. Listen, I hate the Eagles, but I think Jalen Hurts is a damn good guy, good quarterback.
Yeah, it's not his fault he's on the shittiest team
exactly.
on earth.
Fuck Philly. But I'll say this about Jalen Hurts. It's funny, number one, he said the media paints him as a villain. I mean, I understand kind of that, but did they really paint him as the villain, or are they kind of a scapegoat? I mean, I don't know if I say the whole media does that, but all right, that's what he's saying. And also, saying that he's the best in the NFC, I kind of agree with that. But at the same time, he's throwing their top 5 right now. It's a lot of love for a quarterback who's by a lot of Cowboy fans don't even look at him in the top 10. I look at him as a top 10, solid top 10 quarterback. But a lot of Cowboy fans are like, nah, he sucks. Get rid of him. He's not even top 20. That's the kind of shit we're dealing with here. So, just interesting to see someone who actually plays head-to-head with him, basically, on the other side of the field.
I love how the entire chat is basically just you can't hate Hurts even if you wanted to, because he's such a genuinely good guy and a solid player. It's the only thing you can hate about him is the fact that he's on the Eagles. Yeah. Which is obviously a big thing to talk
big
crap
screw
there.
Up
but
there.
I do have to admit he is definitely first class.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely a classy guy, and I respect him. I just hate him because he's an Eagle. But everything else, here he comes to be a Cowboy. I mean, hey, he'd be great.
And
there,
he said, Harold with the $2 holler, said
Oof.
A college player said that Dak blows and was a worse quarterback. So
who said that? A college player?
Again,
probably some guy who got mad at Dak got more pussy than him. Who knows?
Not even that, but sure, you can think whatever you want about how Dak maybe was or wasn't during college. It's been 8 years.
Yeah, listen.
He's in the NFL.
Randall Cobb, and Beasley, and a shit ton of other players of all different positions have said Dak is an unbelievable guy on and off the field. Yeah, I mean, so again, to me, no, listen, it's not a bullshit thing. I know Eastside's trying to start up a little. We don't even care. But the point is that we know Dak, given the right system, given the right coaching, given a little more weaponry than he got stripped of last year, Dak is a much more successful quarterback than he showed last year, even though I still think he was successful overcoming Kellen Moore's offensive game plan. We're not getting into that, though. What I am going to get into is kind of, we talked, again, I got to give props to Jalen Hurts here. I used him as a kind of like a topic discussion point with Deuce Vaughn and red zone work. You see how they use him there, and it's solidified, safe to use your quarterback that could, if he can run and take some hits. It's safe to do that as far as ball security instead of throwing or running to your running backs. So I was saying, Deuce Vaughn could be someone like that. But either way, what about Dak? Now, I don't want Dak running. I don't want Dak out there running like Jalen Hurts. No way. He's not a running back. He's not a runner like that. But he is mobile enough to escape the pocket. He showed it last year with 28th ranked offensive line, pass protection wise. He had to escape a shitload of sacks last year. That's not Kellen Moore. That's not anybody on the team. That's Dak Prescott doing it himself. So when you let him run a little bit more, they're going to let him break the pocket a little bit more this year. It's going to be quicker, 2 reads, and then Dak runs. Not runs down the field, but runs out left or runs right to the flats. Why? To extend the play, and everybody is going to be on the same page, offensive line and the receivers. That's the game plan this year. That's going to already be better for Dak, and you throw in Brandon Cooks. You got to love it. But I want to talk about his dual threat ability. But first, before I talk about that, baby, let's talk about the man staying skeptical. Skeptical fan with that. J. Lou, $2. Holla.
He said, no tie, Lee side.
I got to go back and forth and break
Go
the tie
Cowboys.
every single time, but I'll do it. Skeptical fan said, hell no. East side, stay at 4. Stay at Dak number right there, 4th place. So appreciate that there, skeptical fan. And Jason Renfro in the middle of this getting some shrapnel here, down to 14 points on the stream boss. So appreciate you, skeptical. Always staying skeptical. Our back-to-back gifting membership leader here. Yeah, we bow down to you. That is the best way of one of the best ways of showing love here. And on top of that, back-to-back on that, but he's got a raffle gift here to be presented for the second place winner on Sunday. So much love to the man. Staying skeptical, star level member, by the way, for a ton load of months. Years. So, anyways, back to Dak Prescott. Let me just talk about Dak running. And I just want to say this real quick. When you look at the next-gen stats, if Dak Prescott gets 57 more rushing yards in the first 3 games of the season, or in his next, something can happen.
Yeah.
In his next 3 games, if he gets at least 57 rushing yards total in the first 3 games of this 2023 season, he will become the second fastest quarterback to reach 25,000 yards passing and 1,500 yards rushing by a quarterback in the first 100 games of their career. Second quickest. You know who's the quickest to get the yardage in the air and on the ground?
Is it a modern day QB?
Yeah. 25,000 passing
Mahomes,
yards.
Maybe?
25,000 passing yards and 1,500 rushing yards.
Mahomes or Brady? Well, no. Mahomes. I'm sticking with my first.
Yeah, Brady ain't running.
Yeah. Mahomes.
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, shit.
Aaron Rodgers is the only guy to do that. They're both coached by McCarthy.
Yeah.
They were both coached by McCarthy. Interesting. Anyways, look, the point is...
that brings more weight into some of McCarthy's comments, comparing him to Rodgers in a lot of ways, right? We just kind of assumed it was in other ways, but maybe I'm just saying, this is another kind of notch in his belt.
This is more of a similarity, you can say, between Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott. So, again, when you look at the ability to run by Dak, which we know it's there, the dual threat ability is there, like Jalen Hurts, who's really run. Dak can extend, and then occasionally, scamper for 4 yards. We don't want him going down the field and doing what we did in Washington and stiff-arming guys necessarily. We don't want him over there trying to bowl over guys against Washington. I remember that game, too, where he was head first, got concussed. We don't need that shit from Dak Prescott. I don't want that shit from Dak Prescott. Just get him mobile, get him out the pocket, dump it down if you have to, and then you got different levels of receivers in your path because everyone's on the same goddamn page. That's the plan, the game plan, pretty much by McCarthy. Switching up for a lot of plays going to be a little more like that. So Dak Prescott's on his way to doing something that only Aaron Rodgers had done faster than anyone in the NFL. Dak will be the second guy if he gets 57 total yards in his next 3 games. Now, one last part. You see here a touchdown to Dalton Schultz. The number of touchdowns Dak Prescott has thrown at tight ends over the last 4 years. In 2019, 7 touchdowns out of his 30 were to tight ends. That was 23%.
Okay.
2020, 2 out of 9. 2 out of his 9 touchdowns. That was a short year. But he threw 2 touchdowns out of his 9 that year. 22%. went to tight ends.
So tracking.
2021, 11 of his 37 touchdowns, which is 30% of the touchdowns went to tight ends.
So a big jump there in the usage.
And last year, 8 of his 23 touchdowns, went to tight ends, 35% last year.
So even more usage.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the growth. It was similar in 2019, 2020. This is Kellen Moore's offense. And then the last 2 years, it went to 30 and 35%. The total for his last 4 years since 2019 with Kellen Moore, 28 touchdowns to tight ends out of 99 total touchdown passes, 28%. So almost a third of his touchdowns are going to the tight end. And of course, we got Ferguson, we got Hendershot. We don't have Dalton Schultz. Remember that, guys. Now Dalton Schultz is, of course, out. He's in Houston. All right, and I'm fine with that. Dalton Schultz had 15 of those 28 touchdowns, and I think he had 28 touchdowns. He had 15 of those 28 touchdowns between 2021 and 2022. So he had a huge chunk, 15 of 28 touchdowns for Dak the last 2 years. They were Dalton Schultz. 2 of them in this game, in the playoff game against the Buccaneers. So who's going to be the primary beneficiary from the tight end? If we're going to use the tight end to get the ball to them, is Hendershot with his wobbly ways at time? Is he going to be the guy we going to go with? Or Jake Ferguson, who I believe is the starter this year. He's the more athletic kind of receiver. And then you cannot forget the rookie, Luke Schoonmaker. Luke Schoonmaker, I think, is going to be the primary beneficiary. I think Ferguson will get more looks and more targets and more touchdowns.
Health willing, because I have to admit that set off a bit of an alarm for me, who I was already kind of concerned about Schoonmaker, but was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Being a little banged up in OTAs, like, yeah, sure, it happens, but man, I want to start off training camp in a more positive mindset about Schoonmaker, because I do believe as the season goes on, he can help fill that Schultz role. I do genuinely believe that. Man, but again, one of my more concerning positions. Ooh, excuse me, a little hiccup there. But yeah, one of my more concerning positions as far as offensively what I'm looking at. So
tight end?
Again, we've discussed the O-line here half to death, so I'm not going to touch on that.
You're seeing how important the tight end is in the Kellen Moore offense. Mm-hmm. We don't know how it's going to be in the Mike McCarthy offense. That's another factor.
We drafted a tight end in the second round,
of course.
So I'm
we know
it's
important.
Assume, and I'm just saying that that we at least value.
Of course, but is it for blocking and the versatility of what he can do in a scheme, or is it about his pass catching ability like Dalton Schultz? Because to me, it's Ferguson. That's Dalton Schultz, and Schoonmaker is going to get some of that, but he's there to move around to play, 60% of the snaps all over the field, not just at tight end. You know what I mean?
Well, let's stick with that 70% rule. Even if we stick to 70% of the basically 30%. You know what I mean? You're still looking at probably 1 out of every 5 touchdowns ending up with a tight end. So
I'm cool with Ferguson doing that.
It just, scale down those numbers more or less to that way. I mean, that's still 20% of our offensive points and touchdowns and scores, or however you want to break it down. So that's a good chunk. You're telling me 20% of anything, that's going to hurt. You're going to feel it if things start to go left.
I think I hear you. I agree. But I think when you have a bit of a 30% change in scheme, I think that he's going to use a tight end a little bit differently than Kellen Moore used the tight end. And I think that you can use someone in Ferguson to get those goal line touchdowns, red zone touchdowns, or Schoonmaker to do that just as well as Dalton Schultz. Schultz couldn't get the yards after catch. Ferguson does. We've seen that last year in a small sample size. So I think that Schoonmaker just adds to that. I agree with you. I got to watch this tight end crew and see how they're utilized and how they play. But I'm not too scared yet, because I think that the way we'll use them will be an easy integration to Ferguson and Schoonmaker in this offense. I think there's going to be a couple blocking basic things there for Schoonmaker and a couple receiving basic things there that they're going to use someone like Ferguson a lot. So
yeah, anyway. So Cactus G, he basically has plantar fasciitis. And long story short, with plantar fasciitis, it's one of those things that can come back at any point and start bothering him, just because it's
Amari Cooper,
basically a swelling inflammation type of injury, and it's obviously exacerbated by practice and playtime, which are the two things that he definitely won't be able to avoid very long. all things said and done. Yeah. So, again, I'm assuming and hoping he's going to be just fine. But the fact that he's already dealing with it, and the fact that we're obviously coming off the heels of being very intimately acquainted with plantar fasciitis as far as Amari Cooper, I think it's valid and justifiable to have some concerns. But I definitely agree that, you know, the chance for him to be perfectly fine and do perfectly fine is still definitely there. So, just concerning. Yeah.
I agree. Concerning. And I also think it depends how, you know, how we utilize him. I'm not saying it's not going to make it better when it comes to if he's hurt with plantar fasciitis, he's screwed. Make it worse, though, for sure. I agree, but I do think that there's ways that you can utilize him where he's not going to be playing a full, 90% of the snaps. With whether it exacerbates it or not, he's going to be utilized in 40 to 60% of the snaps. The way Ferguson's be used 40 to 60%, and Hendershot probably 20 to 30%. That's the way the Cowboys going to probably spread around this the tight end rock. I just want to say, with Dak's dual threat ability to only need 57 yards, but we talked about his ability to extend plays, lesser reads. Cactus G said it's going to do wonders for Dak. That is true. Those are facts. This is going to help Dak. It's to his skill set, and I think that's going to help him. It doesn't mean he's bad. It just means that 2 reads and use the mobility to either get 4 yards here, 6 yards there, set you up for a 2nd and 4, 2nd and 6. That's a great job there from Dak. And don't force it. And when you see the quick throw, if it's there, you hit it, yards after catch, you split it. And you got yourself an offense that's progressively moving down the field consistently. That's what I want to see. We do that, we're going to be fine. I'm not worried. If we're just a little better on offense this year than last year, we're going to be making a Super Bowl run, a run in the playoffs. It should get us to the conference championship. And that's the way I see it. If we don't, that's a major fuck up. Unless there's a major injury, that's a disappointment at this point, at this rate, with the way we've seen the progression 2 years ago, this year, and into this year with the upgrades with Brandon Cook, the coordinating on offense and play calling, and the defensive upgrades, even there, which is already elite. This is a better team than we were last year, a better team we were 2 years ago. 12-5, 12-6. I don't give a fuck what record we get in the regular season. We get in the playoffs. We got to get to the conference championship and beyond, maybe that 6 and beyond. Now, I don't know if there's any other comments, but I'm going to move on here, baby, because we're already over the hour. We're getting close to the shutdown time here.
Yeah, no, I'll go ahead and let you keep going there because I do want to try to make it through all the things we want to touch on tonight.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it because now it's the Israel Mukuamu situation, and we talked about him in detail the other day. And let me clear this here so we can see what you guys can see what we're talking about. There's the wonderful wife, and there's Israel Mukuamu, guys. So we talked about him already doing his thing on the field here just the other day when it came to the practice session there. And he's up there. He's in Houston, I think, doing his thing there, training. Now, interesting that we have a relative, I think, someone close to him, who is commenting on some MCF stuff, and I love to hear it because you're kind of getting it more from the source. So, look, the point is this, guys. A family member, I'm going to keep it like that. An Israel Mukuamu, someone close to the family. Okay, let's go that way. This basically is like saying, like, he is not as bad as maybe we may think when it comes to his outside cornerback play. And I like to hear this because, again, according to these inside sources and inside people, they're saying, he never struggled at all as an outside cornerback with that 6'4", 205 frame. He shouldn't really struggle on the outside. But, again, we know from Will McClay saying it himself that there was, when they drafted him, they liked his stuff from the interior, from the inside. And as safety, they were going to utilize him there more. That's what they had made a mention of. Now, as far as the slot cornerback spot, that came to light last year at Dan Quinn on defense. We needed a slot corner. We were missing people left and right. Deron Bland went to the outside. No Jordan Lewis. Kelvin Joseph. Everybody else just always having issues in the slot now. When we lost all our outside guys, and Israel Mukuamu playing not safety, but playing cornerback, slot cornerback. So, we talked about his percentage as a box safety and a free safety. He was used there too, and as a slot cornerback. So, again, family member insider there said basically he made the point that there was 2 cornerbacks drafted before Israel Mukuamu. Second round was Kelvin Joseph. Third round, it was Nashawn Wright. So the Cowboys didn't want to go out there and say, hey, by the way, we're going to get our third cornerback now. They were saying, look, we got to make him a safety now. whether you agree or not, he can handle the outside cornerbacking spot. Dan Quinn has not utilized him there in 2 years in the outside cornerbacking spot, at least not on a consistent level, consistent basis.
Maybe it's just a situational thing. Maybe it's a team need depth situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it could be a lot of corners, but right now, we were desperately looking for corners last year. Mukuamu did not play on the outside under Dan Quinn. I trust Dan Quinn in making the right football decisions. So if that's the case, he saw something more in Mukuamu playing versatile spots and roles as a box safety, as a free safety, as a slot cornerback. And I think that is what we're kind of looking at now. So that was my thing, And again, the family member here from Mukuamu basically said that the safety position was forced on him. The safety position was forced on him. And, just if he could, the point was he was making if he can cover. Cowboys are trying to use him to cover smaller recievers in the slot, but why wouldn't it be good enough to cover guys that on the outside with his frame?
Situation. It almost reminds me of wasn't that similar to Byron Jones back in the day where
he played. Yep.
I'm just saying. So before he fully ended up playing corner, he was stuck playing safety for a few years. So I'm just saying, maybe Mukuamu found himself in a similar situation where he was stuck playing.
But that's Marinelli. That's I'm saying this is Dan Quinn.
I agree.
Marinelli didn't work too well for us, but Dan Quinn did, and proven himself. So to me, it's more about. I don't think it's just politics. I think it's also something that he really sees from Mukuamu that he can excel even more. So he could probably do outside corner. But his skill set is going to lead him more to the inside of the field, free safety, box safety, slot corner against guys, tight ends. That he's a rangy guy for that. I think he'd be a great eventual replacement for Jaron Kearse. I've said this in the past. I think you can see him as a Jaron Kearse type of guy that can cover tight ends, cover in the slot area, can play safety or box safety and help with the run. I know he's a little smaller than a Cam Chancellor. Cam Chancellor is a guy that I've also said that he kind of reminds me of. I'm not saying he's the same. He's lankier, a little less weight. He's a little taller. Cam Chancellor was a hitting machine over the middle, almost like a linebacker at safety. So I see a little differently there, but Dan Quinn loves these kind of prototypical type of defensive backs that are tall and are bigger and fast. And I think that's where you're gonna see the usage of him. Now look, his family member here, made some great points and continue to make some good points, when it comes about, just general stuff here, covering the edge, why wouldn't he be able to cover guys on the edge if he's tall and rangy, right? And, he responded with all my comments. He said, I understand what you're saying, about what my points were being made there about the things that Dan Quinn may see and the reason he was used at maybe slot cornerback this past end of the season. Basically, he said that for him, preferring to use somebody different does not mean that they are struggling in their respective position. And that is his point. So I guess it's more about the wording being used. The wording that he's not, I shouldn't say he struggles as an outside corner. I just think that, and I clarified this, I do truly think that his skill set is more at the covering the tight ends, covering a bigger slot receiver, playing that box safety's run support along with that free safety ability of ranginess to cover in the back end. So to me, that is what Dan Quinn sees right now. Not even what I see. Who cares what I see? What Dan Quinn has seen. And I believe that this is the year, I truly believe this is the year you're going to start hearing people talking more about number 24, Israel Mukuamu. I think this is the year he's going to step up. Multiple reasons why. But I do think that Dan Quinn loves this kind of player he has here, and he is getting better every year. Again, this was in the offseason here. Cowboys are planning to use him. But you see him, he's playing a lot. To me, it looks like a lot of slot kind of coverage here, a lot of press, getting out of his breaks. He's just going to get better, and I think Israel, he's going to take he's not going to be like an all-pro, but he's going to take a big step, I think, this year in 2023. And I'm excited to see what our fourth safety / third slot corner, or whatever you want to say right now where he's at. I'm curious to see how he's going to steal some snaps from some of our other guys out there, and maybe even, rest Malik Hookers and Jaron Kearse, Donovan Wilson sometimes, so we can have them last as well for this. Imagine we have 4 guys in that 3 safety rotation. It'd be great to get someone added in there like an Israel Mukuamu. So again, I love that we have this discourse with his family member, and that we can kind of I can see a little bit of behind the scenes, and we can see the behind the scenes a little bit, not in a bad way to take advantage of it. I like to hear this real deal situation, and we can learn. That's the whole thing here at MCF, guys. We want to learn as well. So
especially because we obviously give our own thoughts and opinions and things like that.
Yeah.
But if there's stuff happening behind the scenes that obviously influences some of the decisions the Cowboys make, well, that obviously changes things.
Yeah.
And at least, from his family member, I do believe one thing. Mm-hmm. I don't think it was a lack of talent or ability that we see Mukuamu end up where he's at. Although, early days, I think that you could argue it was a little bit of that, just because even Mukuamu's development exceeded our expectations, right? Like, again, not saying he's out here being a Pro Bowl or anything, but for the most part, we just kind of got him as, like just an additional piece. He was always like the 53rd guy on the roster.
Right, you gotta remember, he was drafted in the 6th round. So drafted in the 6th round, cornerback, that special teams guy with maybe a high upside in the future. And he, to me, in less than 2 years, basically came in there and did a hell of a fucking job, playing a large amount of the snap percentages in playoff games, in important games.
Starter, but there's no way you can't call him a contributor.
I think he definitely was a contributor last year at the end of the year. But you know what? Watch. This year, he's going to be a rotational starter. Not a starter, but a rotational starter. And that is a huge upgrade for Israel Mukuamu. Izzy, we'll see if he's ready. Izzy? He is. I think Izzy is ready. Yes, he is. So,
I think we have 5 more minutes here before we wrap things up.
I know, and I got 5 names I got to talk about, and that's going to be perfect. So, again, any quick comments on Israel Mukuamu and our little discourse here, learning a little bit behind the scenes of what's going on in Israel Mukuamu's side of things when it comes to safety, cornerback, slot. I think you can do all those 3 spots. I'm just going to be real about it. Free safety, box safety, slot corner, or outside corner. But let's see Dan Quinn utilize him this year and him growing into the position into this 3rd season in the NFL for Israel Mukuamu. I love it.
So, I actually just touched on in the comments. Comment there, so
perfect.
Back to you, baby.
Well, we're going to finish it up strong here because we got one more guy we got to talk about here, and it's not a player. Although he's going to bring in players, supposedly. It's this guy right here, Stephen Jones. Now, we could talk about a lot of different names when it comes to, free agents to bring in. Of course, we talked about Zeke. We heard Jane Slater. Jane Slater has said herself, Zeke is not going to be the Cowboys are not looking at Zeke right now as a guy that they are interested in to bring back unless there's an injury on the field. So again, sounds like the Cowboys are ready to go when it comes to running backs unless there's an injury. So let's take the running back out for a minute. Although I do have a couple names for you. Linebacker, I do want to say again, we'll talk about free agents. Where we should sign, whether in the beginning of training camp or what I believe is going to happen more so is maybe in a couple days into training camp. And I think when I look at linebacker, first and foremost, baby, linebacker is a spot some people have talked about. Leighton Vander Esch had his best season in 2018 as an All-Pro. He graded as PFF's number 23 ranked inside linebacker. That was last year for him, guys. He dominating numbers there. Best year since his rookie year, right? He was an All-Pro. 53% of his snaps. 53% of his total. He played 53% of the total snaps on defense last year, and that's the second best of his career statistically. Right now, he's listed as in 2023 a top 15 linebacker statistically in the NFC and even in the NFL. So, just want to say we may need linebacker depth, but with him, Damone Clark, you got to figure out Jabril Cox and Overshown. We still got Micah playing some snaps there. So we'll see how that turns out. But Vander Esch is a solid player. Has an off-ball, middle linebacker type guy in the Dan Quinn defense. Again, remember LVE last year, I think, in 14 games played, 90 total tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble in 14 games played. So, just kind of finishing up the defensive talk here as we enter the free agency stuff. I wanted to make sure a name I've been hearing at linebacker for us is like a Damian Wilson. Now, do you think we're going to bring back Damian Wilson? He played with Carolina this last year. I don't see that happening, but who knows? I guess who knows? I guess
anything's possible, but I doubt it.
I know there's Houston that Dan Quinn used to coach, a couple other guys, Quan Alexander and others floating around. I don't know if the Cowboys are going to make a move like that yet. Last year we did it with Anthony Barr. He's still floating around. No one wants him. Now, there's that situation. I talked about the running back situation. Let me bring up 2 quick names. Real quick. Darrell Henderson, intriguing running back. We talked about him in the past as a possible free agent pickup here to kind of solidify maybe the backup to Tony Pollard. So again, a lot of unknown there outside of Tony Pollard, and there's a lot of unknown on some guys going to make the team, but what's their role? What's Deuce's role going to be? So again, would it hurt to take a look at Darrell Henderson? He played on 2 teams here recently, guys. Again, Deuce Vaughn looks like an exciting piece for the Cowboys, as I've made a mention. And look, I love Malik Davis, but we're not like staying with him 100%. He's not a 100% solid guy. Neither is Rico Dowdle, his injury. So over the last 2 years with the Rams, it was a surprise cut from the Rams. Darrell Henderson, he had 219 carries, 971 yards, 8 touchdowns running the ball. In the same time frame, he also was a receiver as well for them. 46 catches, 278 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So, he's only 26 years old still, Henderson, with a lot of experience for his age, starting experience, right? So a cheap guy you could bring in at running back. The Cowboys are really truly about, let's exercise some running back spendage here, because again, the Cowboys brought in that Malapali woman, and she believes a lot more in the running back now. So we'll see if the Cowboys look at him at any point in the rest of this offseason and maybe into training camp. But the running back position, again, it won't be perfect, but I don't think it has to be the way we're going to use these guys, and Tony Pollard in the mix of the rotation behind them. Darrell Henderson could be a piece the Cowboys could definitely bring in, so don't forget about that. And Stephen Jones definitely will think about him now. A guy who got in but his car blew up. Leonard Fournette, running back. Mike McCarthy has expressed the Cowboys to be more efficient running the ball this year.
Okay.
Pollard is going to step into that role, right? So he started kind of last year, but he's going to be his first real year starting as the running back full-time. He outtouched Zeke last year by a total of only 11 snaps, so it wasn't like he dominated the offensive starting role there, but he's going to take a much larger workload this year. That's why I mentioned Darrell Henderson. That's why I mentioned Leonard Fournette. The Cowboys don't have really a primary backup or a guy who's like a bruiser. So Fournette would definitely bring that to be our fullback type of guy, and definitely a piece that has carried the rock before for a while. So again, Fournette, 6 feet, 228, a big bruising back, would be an upgrade immediately for the Cowboys group there. And again, he's still only 28 years old. So it'd be a nice compliment with Tony Pollard, and that would make someone like Ronald Jones expendable. I'm just being real. Tyler Lipke could be in trouble if that happens. So again, that would be a much more solid running back core if we added someone like Leonard Fournette. Running backs, done. Last 2 positions, and you know I'm going to talk about one of them, the guard. And you know the name I'm going to mention. Dalton Reisner, right? Mm-hmm. No, I mean, you guys probably...
Your favorite... Still
free agent. Yeah, Dalton Reisner, formerly of the Broncos, he's out there. They're saying he's got 9 teams looking at him. He's asking for $7, $8, $9 million. That's just bullshit. It's going to drop down. Again, a lot of people believe that Dalton Reisner would be a comfort move. I believe it's more important than that. I believe it's a part-time rotational starting move to get someone like Dalton Reisner in here, because Tyron Smith ain't going to make it the whole year. Let's just be real, obviously. So, again, when Tyron Smith goes down, Tyler Smith's going to move to left tackle. And then you're going to have nobody there at left guard. That's why Dalton Reisner is a need, in my opinion. Someone like him. So, again, Tyler Smith is locked in at left tackle. He's going to be there once Terrence Steele comes back at the right tackle spot. So, to me, Reisner is a perfect, like big, like an asshole kind of player, which is kind of what we were looking at, a glass eater, as the Cowboys have said, when it comes to the offensive line. So, I have no problem with him. He did throw Ripken across the field there during the Denver game. So a lot of people don't like him from Denver, players and some fans, right? But he's from Kansas State. He would definitely help stabilize the interior of the offensive line. Who we got back there, guys, behind our star? Farniok? You Farniok kidding me? Come on. So we got to bring more experience, and this guy would do it here. 4 years in, he's still young, and he played 967 snaps for the Broncos last year. He only had 1 penalty against them, and only allowed 3 sacks last year, and that was a bad year for him. Just saying, he's a solid guy, especially pass protection. Running the ball, that's his weaker spot of things. The point is, if the Cowboys want to go with a more look, Reisner's going to want to go with a team that gives a more concrete ability to start. He's not going to start in Dallas initially unless Terrence Steele ain't here. Then he would start. I'm telling you. So again, we have to see how Walesko plays at the right tackle spot. We got to see if any of these guys can play left guard. But if that can't happen, Dalton Reisner is rising to the top, I believe, of the needs for the Cowboys. If Walesko ain't going to work at right tackle, and Terrence Steele in here, And if something happens to Tyron Smith, what happens to that left guard spot? Are we going to be able to run with the guys we currently have there? I say no and no. I don't know. How about that? I don't know. We'll have to see. I think the Cowboys are going to wait and see on Dalton Risner if he's still there as training camp starts up, right? So if the Cowboys want to show his value and bring him into the group, it's a low-key move, but it's a very important move, in my opinion, not just for the beginning of the year if Terrence Steele's not here, but what happens later on in the playoffs when we need that extra backup lineman, when one of our guys go down, like Tyron Smith, and you got to do a little shake-up, that's when you put in the game Dalton Risner, and you got this move here, pays dividends. That's all. Now, baby, the final position, and the piece that you are probably going to be most interested about is kicker.
My favorite. Now here, similar to the O-line, we've been beating this dead horse for quite a while as far as the free agent that we would like to see come in the building.
No, we talked about him yesterday. A guy, one of the kickers, Mason Crosby. Again, Tristan Vizcaino's our kicker. I think we need to fix that and bring some people. I don't mind Luis Aguilar from the USFL, but I definitely would want a true veteran that has done well in the past, and Mason Crosby, connection with McCarthy, of course. So again, the Cowboys are going to supposedly turn every rock over when it comes to finding a kicker this year. Crosby makes sense. Again, last year, as I said this the other day, 25 of 29 last year field goal kicks. He as long as 56 this past year, and he's 38 years old. So obviously older. All matters is his leg work, right? So we've seen kickers go into their 40s and 50s kicking in the NFL. So Crosby was solid though on PATs. Point after tries. Again, they're longer nowadays. He made 37 of 39 last year. He definitely, obviously possesses. Mason Crosby has all the experience and big game production to at least take a look at him. So I say you got to take a look at someone like Mason Crosby connected to McCarthy, and also...
even if it's just for the sake of due diligence.
You got to. This guy here in the middle got to do it. Now, unless McCarthy has an issue with him, which I don't think he does, there's no reason why the Cowboys shouldn't bring him in and check him out. Now, Crosby possesses the experience and all this stuff and to get a look, but think of this also, this addition here, baby. The warm weather in Dallas, warm weather city with dome capabilities. It helps the kicker, right? So this could be a good situation for Crosby to continue his career, if he wants to go somewhere good, familiar faces. And, I think he'll get a lot of, he'll be praised if he can just knock the ball through the freaking goalpost. The last guy I'm talking about is Robbie Gould, which I know is one of your favorites on this list.
Mm-hmm. He's the other one.
Again, I expect someone like Luis Aguilar from the USFL to be signed. I hope we can sign a veteran as well. The biggest concern, again, you would say for you is would be kicker with Brett Maher gone now. He's still out there, but I don't think we want to bring him in. Although he's probably better than Vizcaino. He's definitely better than Vizcaino. Vizcaino's just a camp leg. So we want consistency and reliability. Robbie Gould is probably one of those guys. Now, he made 27 of 32 kicks, 84.4% of his kicks last year with the Niners. And in the postseason in his career, he's made all 29 of his field goal attempts in the playoffs. In his career, of course, this past year included. There's some concerns, though. Here's the concern, baby. I know you said you like him a lot, but here's the concerns about Robbie Gould. He's 40 years old, of course. Age is one of those. But the fact that he struggled with injuries. He struggled with injuries, missed a total of 10 games in the last couple of years. So despite all that he's been through, he's still playing at a high level when he's not injured. But when he's injured, and it's happened 10 games he's missed, I don't know if we could have that instability. So I think Mason Crosby might maybe be more of a guy higher on my list than a Robbie Gould.
Especially if more or less everything is equal when all's said and done. You do have to kind of factor in that injury factor because, well, guess what? It's one of the biggest things left.
If you can't be on that field, then how are you going to kick? And if you're injured, are we going to trust your kicks? So that's one of the things about Robbie Gould. You got to keep that in mind,
exactly.
Right?
We're basically right back to square one, trying to figure out who the heck is going to go out there and get us some fucking points.
There's no security. There's no good feelings there. So any quick comments on this as we cut it? We got to get out of here, guys. So we went way longer than we thought. But any quick comments in the chat, baby, and then you can do the shout-outs.
Texas Twister, much love, saying thanks for the great content.
Oh,
keep
well,
grinding,
no problem.
Keep pushing. You guys are awesome.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
No, thank you very much, Texas Twister. Stay safe out there on the road as well, by the way.
Yes. And also, I got to say big shout out to Mary Alvarez with her Star Level membership. Skeptical Fan dropping a gifted membership here to Rolando Rodriguez. Dwayne Brassard in the house. Skeptical Fan also dropping more love there. Eastside Harold. Jason Renfro. Much love to you guys dropping the love in the house. Sponsor of the week. Jason Renfro, taking over also the Cash App, Jason Renfro, the lead in the Cash App, Jason Renfro, and he still got 14 points. Jabril Cox.
Somehow still holding on.
He got Cox there with 14 points on the Stream Boss. The only place he's not in first place, I think he's 5th place, is on that overall board because you got there East Side in 4th, Skeptical in 3rd, Mary Alvarez in 2nd, but in first place, the man from Hawaii, Mark Hovsepian, who's currently leading the whole board this week. And of course, you got that raffle on the way here, guys, right around the corner. You know how to drop the love. We're still at all the drops from today added on to your membership, right? It still continues. So it's still stacking membership raffle, $6 to enter. Every 6 on top of that, more raffle entries. And if you're Navy Blue, you get a 1 bonus entry. If you hit that $6 mark, you get 1 bonus entry in Navy Blue. Silver, you get 2. And then that star level, you get 3. If you're in that member, if you're in the over everything level, pretty sure you get 4 or 5. Actually, I think you get 5 extra entries.
Yes, you do.
So I want to throw that out there. Anyways, baby. On top of, your love that's dropped. Anyways, you guys get it. Those are the bonus entries. Anyways, hit up the chat, baby. I think we shot everybody out on that side of things.
Let me just in case make sure to go through because I do see Skeptical Fan here. Yeah,
and I was going to say Skeptical Fan, much love to him with the gifted memberships. 8-2 over Jason Renfro right now. The only 2 that gifted it this month so far, but Skeptical got the lead. And he's also got the back-to-back in May and June, the all-time record, 35 gifted memberships last month. Much love to him, star-level member, and all the star-level members, Navy Blue Crew, Silver 2. Thank all of you. And go Cowboys. Now, hit up the chat, baby, the comments / good nights, and we got to roll out of here because we got to drive to the airport here in about 30 minutes.
So, yeah, Skeptical Fan, much love. Have a great night. Texas Twister representing. Yeah. Stephen White, take it easy. Asmodeus in the house. Yeah, the kicking dilemma is a whole ass.
I want to feel comfortable and confident. I don't want to have to pray every time we kick.
Rolando Rodriguez, much love. Have a great night. Thomas Garrett, the Superior. Garrett, of course. Let me see who else is here. Cactus G in the place to be, of course. We have Scorpio representing.
Kicker Palooza.
Even Leaside Harold, of course.
He's on the board
Bishop
as well.
Bishop Kane, much love.
Leaside's 4th on the board. 4th place.
Mike Aldana, hello and hi. Take it easy. Let me see. Tammy Soltis, what's up? Much love. Yeah, that's as far back as I can go. So
Skeptical, Scorpio, Texas, Skeven, Asmodeus, everybody. Thank you for rocking with us here for another one as I pull Mr. Stephen Jones off the screen. Again, if you guys didn't get to post or talk about it, make sure you guys post your comments down below and let us know about these free agent players here. What's your thoughts? Stephen Jones, get to due diligencing. I don't know. Guys, thank you for rocking with us here. Shout out everybody out here in the chat. Shout out everybody who dropped the love. But let me remind everybody, and I want you to do it, baby. Why do we do this crazy thing on the nightly here? And this little 6 years and beyond on YouTube, why do we do this every single day and night?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw. Good, bad, or ugly. Here on MCF, we rep that star over everything. Never forget here, 6 years and beyond, into our 7th and beyond. Never forget on My Cowboys Family, number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond. Guys, thank you for dropping the knowledge in the chat all night long. That's why this thing keeps going, the discussions. Thank you all. Truly humbled by your drops of love from above through all the ways of doing it. Appreciate you guys. And now all good things that have come to an end as we run out of here for our late night drive to the airport as little Jay leaves to Italy for 2 weeks. Guys, before we can drop out of here, clock out of here, and be back tomorrow we'll be back tomorrow for another one. Never forget, before we can officially drop out for the night, baby, what do we got to do?
We got to drop the beat.
Beat's been dropped. Thank you, baby. Thank you, everybody in the house. We'll see you back here for another one here, right around the corner. Should have no problem being back here tomorrow for another one, right? Thursday night live stream. We weren't going to be on today, but if there's no real news, and we might do a true quickie, or maybe just do a chill stream, or maybe just save it all for Friday. Either way, guys, you know what we do here. Thank you for rocking here on the MCF side of things, and thank you for another nightly chat. Free agency, we just talked about that. Dak, his ability to maybe run and find the receivers like a tight end is going to be important. Tyler Smith. We discussed the turned heads at the Cowboy front office, even as happy as they were to get him. He was above and beyond expectations. Izzy Mukuamu, insight from family there. Interesting to note, and I'm interested to see what Dan Quinn's going to do with him. And of course, Micah Parsons rocking out. Yeah, he's partying in July 4th, but you know what else he was doing? Working his ass out, working out. Today, right back at it, grinding. Ready, because we're going for that 6 and beyond here, right here on this channel, right here in MCF. It's always about that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing right here, my Cowboys family. Much love to everybody. Truly stay safe. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another one. And as always, guys, have a good night. Peace out. Thank you for joining us. And never, ever forget, Go Cowboys!
On the beat. Monk on the beat.